Hello. This is Meredith from the Papery Craftery. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the types of glue that I use for quilling. I have written a blog post about this a while back, and I still get tons and tons of questions about what kind of glue you really need for quilling. So today I'm just going to go over a few of my favorites and talk about when I use them and how, and I hope it answers some of your questions. So first, for my everyday glue that I use every time I'm just making your regular quilling shapes, coils, shapes, pinching, anything like that, I use regular Elmer's white glue. This is actually extra strength formula. I don't think I brought that on purpose the last time I bought this. I think this just happens to be the one I found. Elmer's glue, you get it in any store, any craft store, probably your supermarket. You can get Elmer's glue anywhere. It dries clear. It dries quickly, it's inexpensive, it's just great for your everyday quilling projects. Now, what I do use though with my glue is a needle nose glue dispenser. And I've talked about these on my website, in my blog, millions of times. What you want is this tiny little dispenser here. I fill this up with white glue. It holds maybe 1.5 ounces, 2 ounces. And whenever I need a little bit of glue, I just squeeze out the tiniest drop. It makes it a lot easier. I like this brand a lot because not only when you order it, does it come with, how many is in here? 10 of these, but also because you can see how it comes with this little cap on here. I've bought these in the past, a different brand, where this little attachment that holds the cap to the needle here breaks off all the time. These ones, I don't know because it's stretchy. I'm not sure why, but I've had really good luck with this brand. I'm going to link it down below. I highly recommend, if you're quilling often, invest. They are not expensive. Again, you get 10. This needle-nosed container for your white glue. While we're talking about everyday glue, another one that might be handy to have on hand is a clear glue. I use this fairly often. I mostly use it when I'm gluing darker coils together. Even though your Elmer's glue or whatever your white glue is, it says it dries clear, and it really does dry clear. But on your dark paper, every once in a while, you'll see little tiny bits of that craft glue anyway. I found that clear glue, this is Scotch clear glue, just helps a little bit with the dark paper. Your dark blacks, really dark greens, dark blue, dark purple, something like that. Clear glue, I use it in the same way, just on the ends of my paper strips when I'm doing my coils. It just helps so you can't really see that little extra dried bits. I haven't gone as far as putting it in one of the squeeze containers because I don't use it that often. This one does come with a tiny, I don't know if you can see that, tiny little hole. I will put this on my board and squeeze a little bit out and then use a needle tool when I'm applying it, just because I don't use it that often. I'm sure it would work fine in a needle nose container because it is fairly thin, but I've just never had a reason to do that as of yet. So if anybody's done that, let me know down below how it works out. I'd love to hear about it. Another glue that I use very often is Aleene's Tacky Glue. And if you've ever been on my site for any length of time, seen a few of my tutorials on my website, you have seen me talk about Tacky Glue a lot. I use it a lot. It's really great for 3D quilling. It's really great for anytime you want to mold something, but you need some pieces to stick together in the meantime. It's very thick. It's very tacky, as the name would imply. There are a few different bottle types with the Tacky Glue. I like this one with the dispenser on the bottom of the writing. It's so that the cap can stay on, and the glue is always heading towards the bottom where the spout is. There are some where it's the other way around, like a regular dispenser bottle, and every time you want to use it, you have to kind of shake it to get it down. This one, it says always ready because the glue is always at the bottom and ready to come out. When I use Tacky Glue, I would not put this in one of these bottles. It would take forever to get out of that little dispenser. But usually you only need a tiny, tiny bit of this at a time. What I normally do is I squirt a little bit out on my work area, whatever I'm building off of with my wax paper, my cork board. I'd squeeze a little bit out there and then just dab my needle tool or a toothpick or something like that. Just dab that in the tacky glue and then apply it to what I need to stick. That way I'm not using too much glue, but again, it's very thick. A little bit goes a very long way. I would definitely pick up some tacky glue next time you are in the glue market. Another product I like to have on hand for quilling is Mod Podge. Mod Podge has been around the crafting world for quite a while. This is not something that you would squeeze, this is more something that you would paint on with a paintbrush. I actually only use this when I'm sealing my quilling. So if I am making my ornaments for Christmas and I want them to be just a little bit sturdier, I will use a paintbrush, dip it in the Mod Podge, brush a couple of coats on my ornaments, just gives them a little extra layer of protection while they're hanging on your tree or while they're packed away for the rest of the year. Just helps them be a little bit stronger on the outside. Another glue that I use pretty often is hot glue. This hot glue gun here, not plugged in, it's not hot right now, I've had for a very long time. It says AdTech High Temp Project Pro. Very inexpensive. I think I picked it up at Joann's a number of years ago. Pretty, like I said, pretty inexpensive. The glue is also pretty inexpensive, that it heats up, but it's handy to have around for things like wreaths or wall hangings, or when you're applying your quilling to a mirror or a picture frame, anything that has a little bit of a weight to it, or maybe more of a decorative purpose, not as much of a card, something like that. Hot glue is great because your pieces will stick fairly instantaneously. It dries very, very quickly. One of the cons of hot glue is obviously it's really hot. You can really burn yourself. I've done it many times. It'll burn your fingers. It's not fun. Please be careful with your hot glue. That being said, another con, even though it dries quickly, it's not permanent. If you are going to be using your hot glue for something like a wreath on your front door, even if it's behind something like a screen door, just the temperature change, it'll start peeling off eventually. It won't last forever, but for quick projects, hot glue is another handy thing to have around. And that is all the different types of glue that I use in my quilling. Now, like I said, I don't use all of these every day. The ones that I use by far the most are my regular Elmer's white glue in my needle nose bottle and my Aleene's tacky glue. These three, if you're gonna buy anything else for glue as a quilling beginner, these are the three I would recommend you pick up first. The others you may choose to add on as you start to experiment a little more, find your own quilling style, start making more three-dimensional works, things like that. You may want to pick up a hot glue gun if you don't have one, or some Mod Podge, something like that. But as far as a beginner goes, if you've never really done quilling before, or you're just looking to find out what you really need, these three, white glue, a needle nose dispenser, and some tacky glue, will take you really far. All right, that's all I have to say about that. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna be making more and more videos, some new stuff, and also making videos of previous projects that I have written about on my blog, The Papery Craftery, for the last few years. There's tons of tutorials over there. So go over there, check that out. Subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can be notified as soon as the rest of these videos come out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.